As Nigeria inches closer to another decisive political transition in 2027, the stakes are high and the expectations of the populace even higher. Opposition political parties are intensifying calls for a change in government, while concerns over governance, leadership, and national development continue to dominate public discourse. At the heat of the whole thing lies a critical demographic. Now, in today's conversation, we are going to be looking at the role of the Nigerian youth ahead of the 2027 general election. We have joining us virtually all the way from Ibadan. He's the person of Vincent O. Arogodo. He's a public affairs analyst. Good morning, Mr. Vincent.
Good morning, Daniel.
Thank you very much for being there. We sincerely apologize for keeping you waiting. And also from the studio here, we have with us Comrade Sarah Igubon. She is the former SSA on digital communication to the former governor of Edo State. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you very much for having me. Good morning, viewers.
All right, let's begin with you, Comrade Sarah. 2027 is fast approaching, and there has been so many shakes in all the political parties, including PDP, which by extension you belong to. What is the fate of Nigerian youth?
I'm actually not a politician, but I'll go straight to your question. What is the fate of the Nigerian youth? A very, very powerful and very sensitive question, considering what we've been saying so far. The first thing we should even ask ourselves is, what has been the level of involvement with Nigerian youth as it concerns governance and politics in Nigeria? Even though I do not agree with Mr. President in terms of some of his policies, but I will give it to him in terms of youth participation in politics, engagement in his government. For example, I think this is the first time we're having a young person, I think below 40, as a minister of youth. I've always said this everywhere I've gone to, and that is one of the problems we are having in political parties. You will say somebody is a youth leader, and you have somebody in his 60s, 50s, claiming to be a youth leader. At what point do people that fall below 40, at what point do you expect them to take charge? If you still have people in their 60s struggling to be called youth leaders in political parties.
Okay.
So I will give it to him in terms of the participation of his involvement in youth in his cabinet. I am happy that our young people are getting politically conscious. That is the word. You see, when you look at the last election that we did, presidential election, you will observe that movements like the obedience movement were spearheaded by young people who were craving change in the way things were done. They wanted genuine change. And if you look at movements, protests from the NSAS to hunger strike, we have young people that have been, young persons that have been pioneering this.
Okay. Youths have been part of this government and how they spearheaded the obedient movement. But the same persons you're actually speaking for now, they felt like their mandate didn't count in this same election you applauded them for being part of. How do we join this together?
You see, everything is a gradual process. Yes, we saw what played out during the aftermath of the election and the court cases and everything. But that should not deter us. That should not make us stop and say, oh, because we did this, we did that, and we didn't get the desired result, we should just give up. No. That resilient spirit, it should even make us come out more in 2027. Sometimes you have to use radical approach. You have to use radical approach, and that is why I was even happy. You see, like I said earlier, the political consciousness of our youths have been awoken. Go on social media, you see everybody wants to be part of a process. Before now, we didn't have that. When you talk about politics, governance, you see youth saying, no, I don't want to be involved. They don't want to. But go and check now. You will see them actively involved. They are utilizing digital media. They are there every day, whether critiquing the government, whether being part of the process. So I'm happy. And that is a step in the right direction. So we just need to apply more force, more pressure in terms of participation, getting involved, awareness, and everything. And I'm very sure that even the older generation, when they see the way the youths are coming, they will give way. It's just a matter of time.
Right, now let's talk about the youth in the leadership and how far they have gone. How would you assess some of those leaders that you have seen who are quite young and how they have done well far in governance?
That question is a very tactical question. We've seen, in fact, it's mixed reaction, to be very honest with you. And I'll be very, very honest with you. And it's also a word of advice and caution. Because we've seen young persons that have held positions and have displayed, you know, exemplary characters. But we have also seen those that have subjected the youth to thorough scrutiny. We've seen somebody that have been in this country that is younger, like in his 40s, that have made a mockery of the entire system, that people had to wonder, but this is a young man, for goodness sake. You are supposed to lead by example. Because if we go back to the days of old, our past heroes, they all began at a young age. They had leadership position at a young age. But some persons that we are having today, they are sorry excuse, and they are causing problems for young people who are genuinely willing to serve, who have the competence and the capacity. In fact, to be very honest with you, I just want to say this out there. Please, if you are in position and you fall between the young, the demography of youth, please, we expect you to be a brand ambassadors of young people in governance, in politics, because we cannot be agitating for young people to be in position to pioneer process, and at the end of it, we are having the worst of us leads the best of us. It's an error.
Okay, let's turn our attention now to Are Vincent, who is sitting right there in Ibadan on the conversation. Mr. Are, they've actually told the youth that they are the leaders of tomorrow. And it seems tomorrow is not coming for the younger generation. We kept having the older folks takes over the helms of affairs in the country. Will the youth ever get a spotlight in leadership as far as the top echelon is concerned?
Daniel, let me address Sarah from this area. You know, political involvement is very, very wide. You know, yeah, in the area, in aspect of social commentary, in the area of activism, I think Nigerian youths are growing, to be frank with you. And I think that is the area whereby Sarah is addressing from. You know, but when it comes to electoral participation and representation in leadership, we are still very, very much behind. You see, the era whereby we see the lives of grown adults becoming governor in this country, do you think we can get there again? It is no longer happening. The lives of Ayodele Fayose became governor in this country at age of 42. Donald Duke became governor in this Nigeria, in this our country, at below 40 years old. You know, we are growing in time of activism. We are there on social media. We are trying to hold the government accountable. We are doing well in that area. We are making them to sit back and rethink. But then when it comes to representation and participation, we are going backward. Let us be frank with ourselves. We are going backward.
So if you say we are going backward, and it seems you don't really agree with Sarah's opinion. So do you think the Not Too Young to Run Act has achieved its intended impact so far? Are Vincent?
Too Young to Run is a legal issue, actually. The age limit has been brought down legally. The Constitution has recognized younger guys to come up. But at the same time, in practical politics, are we there yet? We are not. You know, a lot of things are really going against us as young people. Now, let me just go back to 2023. I was actively involved with PDP activities and all of that. You know, we see a lot of people coming up to contest. And when you get back to the political party, the gatekeeping at the political party level is still working against us. Now, you contest for a particular office, and you see somebody coming, a particular political leader coming to tell you and say, Vincent, you know, the age is still on your side. Can you step down for so and so? And you see the pressure will become so too much that you have no option than to back down. So the age limit, the constitution has given us the opportunity, but then when you come to practical politics, we are being limited, and that's just the truth.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Vincent. Now, do you think the system is even fair enough to young individuals if we had to look at it critically? I mean, the process to even become a president, for you to get the form, the nomination form, and all of that, we know how expensive all of these things are. So how would you actually, rate all of that, and how it affects youth participation fully in governance?
I know. Let me say this. You see, the system has never been fair to us. In fact, it is even getting worse. You know why? The financial constraint is there for us. I take off now. Me as an example, I have less than 20 years experience in the private sector. Now, if at this very point in time I said I want to run for an office, let me say for governor, for an example. You don't know I would need nothing less than 10 billion naira to pursue that agenda. Now, as a young Nigeria, where do you think I'm going to get that kind of fund from? We start from the political nomination. Look at how much PDP is selling their nomination form. Look at how much APC is selling their nomination forms. Now, as a young man, where do they expect you, to get all of this? So there are a lot of things that are working against us today. And that is why the political party needs to come up here now. The youth need waiver. They need reduction in nomination form. When you see that the youth is coming to participate, you need to reduce the nomination form for them, or you even waive it for them, so that they will have equal opportunity, to contest along the old guards. But these old guys, they have the resources. You cannot compete with them. And that's just the truth. When it comes to the financial aspect of prosecuting election in Nigeria, we cannot. Let's just be frank with ourselves. And when you see old guys also coming up to say, okay, I want to mentor you, I want to bring you on board, then the negotiation of what that person is coming around to ask from you. You
okay,
look at this, are we serving the interest of people or not?
Okay, all right.
So those
All right, let's pause you a little now. What are some practical steps young people need to take to be more involved ahead of 2027? It seems Are is on the other side of the fence.
Sorry, before I answer that question, let me quickly just digress, because he made a statement. I think youth, it will be very, except we want to be economical with the truth, youth engagement in politics, in terms of involvement in government, is there. We are not where we are. Yes, at the middle stage. Because if
councillorship level?
Not councillorship level.
Local government?
For example, Edo State, for example. Our Edo State House of Assembly is the constituents there. What are they? Our members. Yes, the representatives. They are all youths. They are all youths.
You cannot categorically say that.
They are all youths.
Sonsere, who recently decamped, is not a youth.
How old is he? How old is he?
Okay.
No, I need to bring it. How old is he? So I want us to look at things very well. We have youth holding position. We are not saying it's okay, no. We are saying it's encouraging, but we want more. So I wanted to quickly establish that.
Okay.
We are not saying, that. Yes, that we want more.
So what practical steps?
Before now, we had people that will say to you, you are too small to be an SSA. I was an SSA in my early 20s. So I know what I'm saying. They will say you are too small. There are people behind. What I mean is, we are already we are in the process, but we are no longer there.
Don't you think you were favored because you are a female?
No.
You just jumped.
If we go by that, if we
did looked at your face, looked at your gender, picked you from behind,
if we go by that, I will tell you that the women, girls, whichever category that you would like to put it, are shortchanged. They are shortchanged in terms of politics in Nigeria.
Okay.
And the facts are there. They speak for itself. So it's not something about fine tuning. But that is a topic for another day.
It's like after now, your next appointment, you'll be women.
No, that is a topic for another day. Please, let's go back to your question you asked me. Let me quickly.
No, let's take the next question.
Okay. Okay.
I know.
Okay, so I think you've not answered the practical steps you think youth can actually take towards 2027 election.
Okay, thank you very much. Apart from what Vincent had earlier mentioned, apart from being, activists, going to social media platforms, going out there talking about politics, I think awareness matters, which is part of it, but I want awareness, connecting with grassroots. Politics is local. It's not by coming online to speak English, or politics is local. So we need that local awareness. We need that awareness at the grassroots level.
Okay, so I observed something that actually occurred during the last general election in Nigeria, where the obedient movement was very much more on ground on social media. And, a lot of persons felt that social media really is not politics, it's not the normal ground. So do you think we're going to see that occur again? Because we know young persons are pretty strong on social media. You can go online and rant and say, this will not happen. This is the person we want. So how can we shift that part from social media to, the ground floor?
Before we look at how we shift it, I think it's very important to put this out there. I think you cannot underestimate or rule out the role social media play in terms of politics, governance in any part of the world. Because initiatives are being pushed toward, they are driven through social media platforms. What is the obedient movement? When they started, we said, oh, they are just social media online people in one direction. But guess what? They became a movement. They left from social media, they connected to the grassroots. So to rule out social media from politics, from governance, is to proceed in error, is to deceive yourself, to live in denial. Today, we are now getting justice and a lot of things through our being vocal on social media. You have the likes of activists like VDM. It was through social media. Guess what? Is a very, very important person as far as Nigeria is concerned, because he utilized the platform. So to downplay the role of social media in politics, in governance, is very wrong. But going back to connecting with, leaving social media to connect with the grassroots, which is what I have been saying, awareness. It takes more. You get the crowd on social media, because we have a lot of young people on social media. When you get there, get them on social media. It is not enough. We now proceed. Okay. Like I said, politics is local. Okay. You must identify them in their wards, in their units, and that is it. That was what happened. So we want to, at this point in time, I advise that we intensify it, make it broader. Let's not just be seen only on social media, which is good. Let us be in the grassroots, in the unit, in the ward, in the local government, where it all happens. Okay, Comrade Sarah, let's hold on now and get to our Vincent. In the 2023 presidential election, a particular party was the bride of all politicians, but now attention is moving to SDP. And if you look at SDP critically, we are not really seeing any youth presence there. We have the likes of the former governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, and there's a call for a merger now. Atiku Abubakar probably is heading towards there, but some governors recently actually said they are not with him. Now, how can youth navigate the often hostile political terrain dominated by older politicians and godfatherism?
Oh, praise. Let me say this. I keep telling people here, see, the coalition is coming and it's going to stay. It doesn't matter what particular governor, whether PDP governor has said. They have told us that they are not going to any coalition. But as it stands today, every one of us knows that PDP is an annex to APC right now. You cannot rule that out. But let me also tell you, the 2027 election is going to be Nigerians as their leaders. See, I said I made mention of obedient movement. Let me tell you, we even being inclusive, I downplay what social media could do in 2023. But at the end of the day, we saw what social media can actually do. How many grand campaigns did Obi do? But I can tell you, the majority of the mobilization that was done for Peter Obi were done on the social media. See, the coalition that is coming up, yeah, you might not have seen the presence of the youth, but I can tell you that under the ground, we are also getting involved. The coalition is coming, and it's going to be massive. And I can tell you, 2007 is going to be bigger than what we saw in 2023. Okay. Because we have seen very clearly now that there are some people who want to hold us into ransom. But we are saying that this is not what we want to see in the governance. This is not what we want to see in politics. We want to see better. But the current government is not giving us that leverage. It's not giving us the opportunity. So it's going to be very massive. See, let's not forget whatever anybody is saying, the PDP, as far as I'm concerned, a lot of us are losing concern. We are losing hope in what we call the opposition. The opposition now is going to be people against the political heavyweight. And we are going to see it. See, we are not going to play social media here. We are going to be everywhere. But like I said, one of the things I want to add to what Sarah said in getting involved is this. See, youth, let's join political party. In Nigeria of today, you cannot become anything politically without being a member of a political party, because he just said it. He said a political party has to sponsor you. So I will encourage everybody, you have to be a member of a political party before you can get anything done. So let us start from there. But I can tell you, we are moving, and nothing is going to stop Nigeria.
Okay, quickly, I would like you to address something. Let's pause you a little. I would like you to address something quickly. 1 and 2, you said every Nigerian youth should go and be members of political parties. With the long queue, according to Sarah, she said they have a very long queue. Very, very long one. So what is the fate of these young guys when they get their ticket or they get a membership certificate? Then secondly, you said PDP is an annex, or APC is an annex of PDP. This is confusing. Help us now. Are you saying PDP and APC, they have a coalition already?
It's PDAPC.
Do they have a coalition already? Help us.
There's a coalition. Let me put it to you. Iyeson Wike is a PDP leader today, right? And Iyeson Wike, we could see during the president's birthday party that happened recently, the president made mention of it that Iyeson Wike have a mandate to deliver FCT and River State for APC. Now, if a party leader, a PDP leader, is on an assignment to deliver for APC, then what are we talking about? As I'm talking to you today, PDP is an annex to APC. We cannot rule that out. Even in my own home state, in the state, we see a former governor who is still a member of a political party, a member of PDP, and the president of His Excellency Ayodele is here everywhere campaigning for the current governor, which is APC. And it's not ashamed of it. So when you look at everything that is happening currently, even the governor of Oyo State, all of them, see, we can count them.
Okay.
The body language is already showing it. Let me tell you one thing. What I said about joining political party is very, very important. See, the youth had to come together and talk within themselves. See, the chances are high. We have the higher number in the political party. Let me tell you, we only have our way. It's just because currently we are very few who are card carrying member of political party. And that is why it's very difficult for us at this point. But when you have more youth coming into the political party, I'm telling you, the road is going to be very smooth for us.
Okay. Sarah, Ara is saying, don't stay on social media. From his submission, go and join a political party. These political parties, will they be sincere enough to support a youth candidate ahead of 2027?
A youth candidate?
Yes.
A youth as a candidate?
To be their flag bearer.
You know...
you know what I'm talking about?
No, I want us to be very clear. Because we've seen cases where you say, okay, somebody that is not in his 60s, but the youth demography is different. If you are saying somebody that is not in his 60s or 70s, it's different. The way you say youth candidate, because this was the problem I had with the some of the campaign slogans in 2023 where they were saying Obi is a youth, and I said by his age he's not a youth, perhaps a youth at heart. So I think it's very important to put it out there. But to say a youth,
okay, a young candidate.
Yes, thank you. It's not looking feasible for different reasons. I will not come here and paint the truth. It's just the truth. It's not looking feasible. That's just how I see it.
So you can't have a young person
at this
talk about the hems of affairs of Nigeria.
It's not looking feasible. That's how I see it. I don't know, others may see it differently, but for now it's not looking feasible. But I think there will be that person that all young people can actually connect to. Particularly not in our age bracket like youth, but there will be that person that we all connect to and say, okay, we buy his visions, we buy his plans. And I want to quickly say this because of my brother made something and said, APC, PDP is APC is an annex of the APC. There's a reason why I want to say this, because I feel like there's a conspiracy.
You agree with him?
No, even though there are actions that makes one to question some things.
Do you agree with him?
No, I do not. But rather, I want to say, like I said, there are actions that will make one to think in that direction.
So are you thinking in this direction?
It is a conspiracy. I'm not thinking in that direction. That is why I want you to allow me land.
Okay, land.
I think there is a conspiracy so that Nigerians will think, oh, there is only one party here, and the party has been able to capture everybody. So there is no need thinking about 2027. So no need for anybody to agitate for 2027. 2027 is already a done deal. I think there is a conspiracy, and that is why there is this collaboration. Wike is not the leader of the PDP. He is a prominent member of the PDP. To say that PDP is an annex of APC, knowing very well that he is not the chairman of the party, but a prominent figure, is an attempt to cajole people to say, oh, APC and PDP, they are together, and there is no way, just forget about 2027. Okay. That is why I feel there is a conspiracy. Hold on,
no, just hold on.
And even in our Edo State, sir, please allow me land. Even in our Edo State, I watched a video of Chief Danobi yesterday, when he was talking about a secretariat. For goodness sake, this man was appointed under an APC government. He was first appointed a board, you know, at the federal level, and in Edo State, he is the chairman of the governing council of Ambusali University, and he's coming on TV to say the role of an opposition is not to fine-tune the government, it's to put the government on their feet, and to have somebody coming on TV to tell us that he's an opposition leader, is donating a secretariat, at the same time commending the government, an APC-led government. The bromance is suspicious, and it gives me more reason to believe there's a conspiracy trying to paint what is not there, so that everybody will just relax and forget about 2027. But the thing is, we must see beyond that conspiracy. It's a well-calculated conspiracy. Politicians will politic. You don't expect them to come and paint you. That is the truth. But we must be very, very decent. We must look at things holistically. We must look at 2027 away from our stomach, away from anything that perceived gains. Look at what is happening in Nigeria, for goodness sake. We must look at a candidate that will be able to take us to the next level.
I feel like you're emotional at this
really
point, right? And surely it's understandable. But speaking about 2027, there's been so many activities lately on ground. I mean, recently we saw Seyi Makinde come out to say he's fit to become the president of Nigeria. We've seen Dave Umahi says he's a prophet, and he's speaking that Tinubu will do 8 years. We've seen that happen over time. Even Akwa Ibom State Governor Umar Eno said the same thing as well. Don't you think all of these things is too early? I mean, this is just 2025, and 2027 is around the corner. Don't you feel there's also a distraction as against governance here in Nigeria? How did we get here, and how did we find ourselves here at this point?
That question, I like the last part of your question. How did we get here? Unfortunately, we must proceed above, okay, how we got here. Now, the thing is, how do we take it from this level? Like you said, 2027 is still a bit far. If this politicking was coming in the early stage of 2026, I will understand, because it's politics. But when you now have people that are supposed to take charge of their states with the high rate of insecurity coming to tell you something that they want to deliver. We have, even in Edo here, I don't like going further. I like to use here as a case study. We are having issues of insecurity. We are having issues every year are there, but somebody is thinking, somebody that could not even deliver his polling unit in the last election is coming here to say he wants to deliver for the president. I find those statements, they get to me. Do you understand?
Okay.
Now is not the time to be talking about 2027, and I'm very happy when the president said he distanced himself from the campaign billboards and poster. That is what any sane person should do. We have issues that is facing us as a people that we are supposed to fight. Not to be campaigning for 2027 that is still far off. It is the height of irresponsibility.
Oh, okay, quickly, Vincent, now let's return back to you now. What role should youth lead, or how can they position themselves and advocate or use platforms to play in the politics, or to be part of the politics, as it were? What role should they use? Should they play, and what medium should they use to be relevant?
The first thing is this. See, there must be coalition. We must build coalition and alliances among ourselves. See, when we're talking about uh, youth demographic, see, like Sarah was rightly saying, see, let me tell you one thing. It is not, when you're talking about youth here, we're not even talking about being youth at all. We're talking about your age. You get people like Obafemi Awolowo late, Nnamdi Azikiwe, Agui Rosie, Tafawa Balewa. How old were they when they became leader in this country? They were not as old as I am today. See, the truth of the matter is this. We need to build coalition and alliances among ourselves first, and also leverage on the use of social media. You know, when you go to X, the former Twitter, you see how people create spaces whereby they discuss issues. See, let me tell you one thing. Today, in Nigeria of today, we don't have political party as opposition. See, let's just understand that. The only opposition that exists in Nigeria today are the young people who are clamoring for change on social media and on grassroots. See, it is going to be, we have social media. It's very, very important for our youth, because a lot of us are there. We wake up in the morning, even before I say good morning to my wife, I'm already on WhatsApp to share what is going on there. I'm already on Facebook, I'm already on X to check what is going on in Nigeria. So we need to leverage on these digital spaces, you know, to drive our ideologies. They are very, very important. And at the same time, see, the grassroots also, we need to also get back there, because that is where we have the voters. The majority of voters in Nigeria, they are not on social media, so to speak. What we can do with social media is to educate people and enlighten those who are there. Then beyond that, we go to town halls, you know, and bring people, tell them about ideas, what we want to do. See, the youth need to come up right now and take their space. We have been relegated, you know, to the background. Sarah was mentioning the other time that in the Edo State House of Assembly just consists of just half of the local government. You understand? So we can't just be picking the crumbs and think we are participating in politics. No. In Nigeria today, out of 36 governors, how many are in that age bracket of youth? How many? No one is wrong among them. The last young person that left is Yaya Bello. And we see how he messed up the system. But let us know something. See, social media is there for us. The town hall is there for us. We need to go back home. Let's tell our people what we can do differently. We are causing a lot of changes. We have come on social media to shout about certain things, and we see government sitting up and addressing those things. So if we can do that at that very point in time, then I can tell you we can do a lot of things, you know, with the digital space that we have. Thank you.
Connect with Are again. It seems his network is not as stable at this point. Let's come back to you now. The economic situation is very harsh. You will agree with me that it's not too rosy for the younger generation. Where would they get money to do politics? Let's be practical now. If you want to run for the office of the governor, can you count 10 of your friends that will pull up 100 million for you in Edo State?
Okay.
Those that are making their money legitimately. Yes, 10 of them.
I think that is where building a good network comes in. As young people, you must leverage on building a very good network. Whether politically, in every space, having good, it's not enough to just say you want to make friends. You must connect well. You must follow people that, you know, are connecting the same vision level with you. You must build network.
So do you have that network currently?
Which one? For the hundreds? We say we are build, like, I'm still in the process of building competence and capacity, which is one thing I always advocate for. Yes, I'm still in the process. And by the special grace of God, when the opportunity comes, I believe by the grace of God, we'll see people that will key into the vision. So one of, like I said, build good network of people. That's the only way. Then, one of the ways. Then the second one is coalition. You can't rule out coalitions. That is where funding comes in. There are a lot of persons that are holding sensitive positions today, not by their own financial capacity, but because people believed in them and said, okay, I believe in your vision, I believe you have what it takes. Okay, let's let's rally around you. So that is it. Even the politicians that you think have money, many of them, when they come out like that, it's the network that they've built, that they leverage on, that they fall back to. And you see their committee of friends say, okay, let's donate this one. So please, it's very important as young people to build good network, you know, coalition, and also mentorship. It's not enough to just look for finance alone. Mentorship. You see, this older generation, as much as we want them to exit the scene so that we can take our rightful place, there is something that some of them offer, which is mentorship. There are some things you will learn from them. You see, I don't want to use one word, but I'll try to fine-tune it. They say if you want to catch a thief, you have to think like a thief or behave like a thief, right? So if you don't, sorry, with due respect, I know this is a national, I'm just using that as an illustration. So if you want to get to the level that some of them have attained, you need to pass through mentorship. You need to learn from them.
Embezzle like that.
No, not embezzle.
No, you need to use barons.
No, you need to know how they.
Is that
that is not part of the mentorship.
Because you know, you just
when you use the word embezzle, not all politicians are thieves. Not all technocrats at the corridors of power are crooks. We still have people with integrity.
So what are you learning from our Nigerian politics?
You learn the process, participation, involvement in politics. It's just like, I want to learn something from you. I'm not expected to learn your bad behavior. There are good things in you. Even the worst person on earth still has something good in them that you can learn from. Right. So these are some of the things that I think, you know, young people need to do in order to be fully involved in the process. While you drive it on social media, like we've earlier noted, you know, it's also good to be part of the system. Get involved at the grassroots level, build competence, capacity, so that they can believe in you.
Now, what are your predictions for 2027 election here in Nigeria? Because some of the one major outcome we saw that happened after the general election is the fact that a lot of persons were sad that the person who they wanted, who they clamored for, did not, you know, attain that position. So do you think we're going to see that energy, you know, the vigor from the last election in the forthcoming one?
Yes, I think we're going to see that, because when you look through what is happening in the country and you look at the voices from different parts of the country, you know, from young people across, there's a momentum already building. And it's there. Well, anybody that wishes not to see it is just living in denial. There's already a momentum. But this is also an opportunity for me to appeal to INEC. The independence in INEC is very important. It's very important for us to build the nation that we desire. We must ensure that our democratic process is free, fair, and credible. And we must build trust in our electorate. So it's an appeal to INEC to please continue to do the right thing at all times.
Okay. All right. We're actually running out of time now. We need to quickly head to our Abuja network studio. But Are, this is going to be your final take. Help us now. What lessons can Nigerian youth learn from political leaders in other parts of Africa and the world? Sarah has actually said that we should learn from our Nigerian politicians. We should take some of their good characters. So what should our youth learn from other leaders, political leaders from other parts? Please unmute yourself.
Yeah, I'm on. Now,
okay, go.
Let me say this. The truth of the matter is this: there are a lot of things to learn, especially outside here. See, the resilience is very, very key. Now, we saw what happened in 2023. I know a lot of people are discouraged. A lot of people are no longer trying to show willingness because the energy was so much at that time. At the same time, what did they get? See, the truth of that is that we need to learn resilience. If you look at Uganda, you look at Kenya, how the youth, you know, persist and demanded for their rights and got it on the long run. See, it's not going to be a deal job. It's not going to be something that you just key into in one political era and at the same time you go back and sit down. No, you continue to fire us. See, 2027 is going to be very, very interesting. I can put that to you because it's going to be a fight between the masses, the poor masses, and those governing us. It's going to be the resilience is very, very important, and we should also need to look at how we can make use of the digital platforms if you look at Tunisia, how social media shape the political terrain, atmosphere in that country is very, very important. So we need to key to that, and we should not back down. And I can tell you, we are getting there. Hopefully, we are getting there. And I can assure you that nothing is going to stop Nigerian youth. As long as we agree within ourselves that we want to be there, we will be there. Yeah, I can hear you. I can no longer hear you, Daniel. I can no longer hear you.
Okay, if you can hear us, Are, sorry,
Yeah,
we had a little glitch there. Thank you very much for finding time to be on the program. We'd like to have more of you on our platform.
All right, you're welcome.
All right, that was Are Vincent Arogodo joining us live from Ibadan, Nigeria. And here in the studio, we had the privilege of having the next women leader now, Sarah.
Thank you for having me.
We appreciate you.